Alright, hey everyone, welcome to another Wildwitch RP Live Play TTRPG session. What is Wildwitch RP? Well, that's me, Faye, Game Master and Storyteller, and Lachlan, a writer and producer. We're a couple who love sharing stories, so much so that we quit our day jobs and created our own company. That way we could create high quality and exciting TTRPG experiences full time and share them with you. And tonight we're playing D&D. This session features a Mortal Guardian side quest that takes our brave heroes on an exciting adventure out into the world of Velinara, or perhaps beyond. With us at the table are several of the incredible players who have joined us on our grand endeavor. If you'd like to help us out, or not help us out, if you'd like to play alongside us, you are more than welcome to join us. If you want to do that, you can just ask in our chat room or hop over to our Discord, where you can find out more information. But now, speaking of our awesome players, it's time for introductions. Like I said, I'm Faye, Game Master and Storyteller. With me is Syrinscape, bringing all of our background music and sound effects. It's a fantastic and affordable sound collection that you can find at Syrinscape.com. And now, we can get into our introductions and meet our courageous, daring heroes before they embark on another exciting tale of magic and wonder. And we'll begin with an introduction for Seraphina.
Hello, everyone. I'm Connor. I'll be playing Seraphina. She's a winter Ladrin warlock, hails from the Fey realm. She's a servant of the Lunar Sovereign, and it should not go anywhere without her Lunarthorn staff.
Hell yeah. Next up for our introductions, what do we learn about Dan?
Hi, I'm Kelsey. I'm playing Dan. Her name is short for something, but she'll never tell you what it is. She's an Aasimar paladin. Her resume reads Paladin serving Solanthra, Mortal Guardian, Super Thief, and Burgeoning Stairmaster.
Hell yeah. Well then, with that, I do believe that we are able to dive into our session. And last we left off, you had entered Inflagos. You had sailed down the river Griefmire, and you have disembarked the Turngordrim. Ahead of you now lies the desolate, ashen valley of Glen Malice. There is a corrupted stream flowing towards you into the river. There are inky, malicious effusions that erupt from the hate forges, blasting acrid smoke out into the sky. Roll for me perception or arcana checks. Twinsies. What an auspicious start.
She's saying stuff weird. Stop it.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Stop it.
As you all move through, you can spot the hate forges. From them, grime is dumped into the stream, rotten essence, some sort of vile byproduct of the cruel, torturous mechanisms of Innitriel's creation. There's movement in the stream that you're not quite able to parse, but doesn't seem very good. If you would like, you could always get a little closer if you want to learn more information.
Yeah, why not?
Okay, what does that look like, Dan?
You know, getting close, sticking my face near it.
As you stick your face near it, what you had seen before is just movement of the waters in a strange way, is clear to you now. Sick, twisted souls suffering in the waters here. You are able to roll for me a religion or an insight check.
Yeah.
The souls suffer in putrid, liquefied hatred, perhaps a result of their condemnation here in Invatriel's realm. This place where she harvests them like fish in a pool, preparing them for her own service. As you come to this revelation, a sickening thought comes to mind. Perhaps this is the fate awaiting Seraphina if she fails in her missions and still refuses to serve in Vatriel.
I'm gonna stand up real quick and I'll share everything except for, what could be Seraphina's fate. But I look real nervous.
And Seraphina, while undeterred, would kind of have that nervous look as well. Can I spot the fact that Dan's trying to hide something from me, maybe?
You could roll an insight check to see if you read anything more into Dan's nervousness.
Yep.
That's so funny. Because Alara was also doing an insight check. And Alara got a natural 20. You would notice, Dan, that Alara's looking at you. A furrow in her brow. She has noticed that you are nervous. And her eyes seem to hold some sort of weight, knowledge that perhaps you know more than what you've shared, but she doesn't mention it. Elias, however, we've seen where we need to head. Perhaps we don't rest here too long. Who knows if these fiends have hidden clauses in their dealings.
Let's go. Get this done and then we'll all go home.
Potentially, Alara says.
No, we're all going home.
I think that relies on Seraphina. And you can feel the weight of your sister's eyes on you, Seraphina.
Need to go and get this done. And time's not on our side right now.
You did spot the hate forge that you needed to find. It was easy enough to see from the banks, but now it is just getting to it. And to do so, you have to cross a valley in between all these poisoned, rotting souls. As you move across the grounds, the suffering is palpable in the air. It's almost thick, like humidity. Winter veiled on a hot summer day, but none of the heat nor joys of the city. But you can feel the clawing of souls trying to find a vessel in each of you. I would like a charisma saving throw from each of you. Seraphina,
Mm-hmm.
you can make yours at advantage.
Okay.
Dan, Seraphina,
Mhm.
you are both successful here. Dan, we'll start with you.
Okay.
As you feel the specters and spirits of the realm around you, they are drawing on any sort of latent frustrations or misgivings, anything that would be close to hatred in your heart, drawing it forward or at least attempting to do so. You're able to combat this, but what is it that they pull on? How does that manifest, and how do you fight it back?
Ooh, that's that's tricky. Um, I don't think Dan holds on to any kind of hate too long. Um, there may be frustration at or determination against certain fates. Um, but she's strong and she holds to her determination to keep everyone safe.
All right. Seraphina,
Mm-hmm.
there are souls vying to use you as a coat, a puppet. They pull on the hatred inside of you, but you feel some force within yourself bolstering, making you stronger. You don't quite recognize the source, but it's there. What do they draw on? And what does it look like when you push back?
Ooh. Um, I would say that as much as out loud, Seraphina like wants to possibly see her sister change for the better, there's still that resentment there of what she did all those years before, and that's kind of still there, but just kind of trying to push that back by just remembering that she's here and I've got everyone else with me as well.
Funny that you think of your sister in this time, because Elias and Alara also have to contest with these souls trying to take hold of them. Let's just see how they do.
They would get a +4.
That's going to help Alara a lot. Elias gets a natural 20, so he seems to be very determined as he walks through here. But Alara does have to roll with disadvantage. Alara falters. And we're going to get a little bit of an insight into Alara. She's struggling here. You can see it in her countenance. She claws at the area of skin and fabric where figures are trying to take hold, trying to take possess. And then her entire form shifts. Not changing in physicality, no, but the way she holds herself is entirely different. The way she looks around, it's almost as if with new eyes. It seems that Alara has been possessed here. And may need to be subdued. The entity inside of her may need to be drawn out. What do you do, Mortal Guardians?
I'm gonna try something here. Definitely not gonna be blasting any spells or anything like that, but I want to try something here. Um, I've been holding on to this ever since our very first encounter, and I'm just gonna try and talk to her and get through to her. And the way I'm gonna do that is I have it in my bag of holding. Um, I have that amulet of hers that she's been, well, she that was in the initial prequel, and I just try to talk to her while showing her this amulet, and I tell her, um, "You remember back in that jail cell when I told you that I always looked up to you, even with all the stuff that you've done all these years." And then I show her the amulet. I say, "I never stopped believing that you could change. I know you can. You just have to trust me."
Go ahead, roll for me a persuasion check. And because you have the amulet, roll for me with advantage. There is a sort of faltering. And you see it. The hate spawn just sort of underneath the skin, almost pulled out by your words. But still clinging to Alara. Dan, you would see this as well.
Yeah.
Would you like to try and help?
Yeah. Can I grapple her?
Sure.
Well, that's a natural 20.
She got a natural 1.
Cool.
Go ahead. Tell me what it looks like.
Well, I've got her held. Um, I'm not trying to hurt her specifically. Just holding her still, and I'll say, "Get out now. You've had your time." Your turn is done. Get out.
Give me an intimidation roll, why don't you?
Yeah, okay. 6.
Seraphina, are you doing
Uh-huh.
anything else here? You can see it. It's just kind of right underneath the skin. It's almost like the hate spawn is superimposed over Alara. What would you like to do?
Man, what would I like to do? I just tell her that I know she's better than this hate spawn. That she's strong enough to get rid of this thing.
Give me a persuasion check, please.
I'm having a D12.
Yeah, go for it.
I need this to work. Oh, 21.
It's an effort of all of you. Seraphina, you talking to Alara, giving her strength. Dan, you holding on just in case the hate spawn tries to claw a little deeper, and Elias standing nearby to force this thing back into the waters. But it is a success. The spawn surges out from Alara's chest, and you can hear her gasp. She slumps against you, Dan, breathing heavily. Elias is quick with his magic to corral the creature back to its confines in the rotten water. Seraphina.
Mm-hmm.
And Dan. I'd say Dan
Uh,
would be able to do this as well. Roll for me Insight or Arcana.
At 20.
Ooh. That is very narratively satisfying right there. Dan, you just know that something here went awry and Alara was overwhelmed. You felt the spirits trying to get to you. Perhaps it was just a weakness in will for a moment. A brief slip. You've all had them. Seraphina, you think back to that surge of energy that you felt. A bolstering. Do you recall the thread that connects you and Alara and Scavindra? And you realized Alara was sharing her hatred with you, emboldening you, strengthening you, and allowing herself to open up to disadvantages, weaknesses.
I'll walk over to her and just kind of knowing this now, I'll just ask her if she's okay.
I'm fine. And I would say at this point, Dan, because you had her kind of grappled and held, you can feel where Alara's tensing up.
well, I would have loosened a little bit more supportive than,
Well, I know.
holding her still.
Yeah. I mean, a hug is still technically a hold.
Yeah, it's, it's gentler now.
Which means you can still feel where she tenses up when Seraphina
Okay.
asks if she's okay.
Right.
physiology.
I
I'll
don't
let
know.
go.
She takes like half a step aside and like, wraps her own arms around herself, crosses her arms, looking anywhere except for anyone else in the party.
Well, wait, maybe she needed it. Okay, that's fine.
Look, it was a incident. It's handled. We do have a place to be, things to go on to.
Can I try and give her the amulet now that she's freed? I don't know what her reaction will be, but I feel like it belongs to her.
As you offer it to her, now that she has a more clear mind, she will very hesitantly accept it. She doesn't say anything. But she's quiet for a moment as she holds it and just looks. Her face carefully made devoid of any sort of emotions that could be read. Though if anyone was curious, they are welcome to try with an insight check. Seraphina, she's hard to read. Dan. She's a little bit easier for you to read. The face is empty of emotions, but her eyes are not. They're glassy. A little bit of tears that seem to be there. There is confusion mainly. And melancholy.
Had to give Seraphina like a little thumbs up. But real quick, just for her.
I'm going to ask for checks of your choice to continue the trek through the rest of the valley here as you make your way to the Hate Forge of the Fallen Water Guardian.
Would a survival check apply in this situation?
I'd say survival could work here, for sure.
Mine's kind of complicated. I want to stick closer to Alara, but more in a defensive way, but I don't want her to know that's what I'm doing.
Okay, so here's how we're going to play it. You will have two parts of the intended action here.
Mhm.
One will be utilizing your passive skill, one will be utilizing an active role.
Sure.
If you want to focus on defense, your active role will either be an insight or a perception.
Okay.
If you want to focus on not being noticed, your active role will be a performance. And then whatever for is that you are going to rely on your passive skill, that'll be it. So passive performance for if you're doing an active defense or a passive defense if you're doing an active performance.
Okay. We'll use my passive insight because that's better. So my passive insight's a 17.
Okay.
And then performance, I rolled really well. It's a 22.
Yeah, you are, calm, collected, cool as a cucumber. You're also keeping a really good eye out on everything. There are some more hate shades that you can, or not hate shades, hate spawn that you can see just bubbling in the water, waiting for the moment to jump out. But because you are aware of them, you're able to sidestep and make sure the group moves. Alara seems none the wiser that you are sticking close, particularly to her. It's just kind of you're all walking together. It's fine. As you are moving, Seraphina,
Yes.
roll for me. Roll for me a wisdom saving throw, please.
Okay. Another natural 20.
There is a cerceration in the air, almost like static, electricity, a shift of the atmosphere before lightning strikes, and you can feel it. You tune into it. It's almost like it's seeking you out, but it doesn't take you by surprise when the vision comes forward. For a few blinking moments, you are looking outwards from a place unknown to you, darkened. You can hear the rushing waters, but mostly you feel the heavy pounding of your heart, thick with emotion. And then you blink again and it's gone.
I think sharing information is important right now, so I'll tell the group what just happened.
Elias kind of moves forward, wrapping an arm around your shoulder. Do you think it was another vision from the angel?
Probably. I don't know. It was dark. All I could hear was running water. But since we're getting closer, it's probably a good bet it was her.
Are you okay?
I'm just trying to hold it in. That's all.
You don't have to, you know.
Trying to focus on what I can do. It's not going to help worrying about things I can't do. What I know I can do is try and convince this angel to let me go. So let's just try and focus on that.
Got it.
You press onwards. And you see it. The Hate Forge. It's almost like a small building. A personal prison cell. And as you are looking, you realize that this will not be an easy task getting in. It's not something you can just walk into. Perhaps you can scour some information from the outside. Perhaps you can, of course, enter in guns blazing. It's up to you, Mortal Guardians, how you wish to approach this puzzle.
Well, I'm all about, just running in, but you're all smart, so I'm sure that you'll tell me that it's not a good idea.
Serafina would have been in agreement on running in guns blazing, but we also should just kind of say we need to be smart about this. And only go like rushing in if we don't have any other choice. So are there like any like so looking at this, are there like any wait, do I have to detect magic spell? Wow, I don't have that. I'm embarrassed. I don't have the detect magic spell.
Well, you do have NPCs with you, including a certain wizard who may or may not have it.
Yeah, I just was trying to see maybe like looking at this thing if there's like anything magical on the outside, like traps or just forces that we might need to get rid of in order to get inside. So yeah, I'll ask a certain wizard if they can do detect magic.
I can definitely cast the spell, but I worry that because of where we are, there may be a lot of things that detect or come as magical just under the nature of what they are. And with that, Elias will draw his wand and will cast a detect magic. There is a brief moment where his eyes shine with a intense light as the spell takes effect, and as he blinks, looking around from behind his glasses. The entire creation of the Hate Forge radiates magic of an unspecified class. I'm not seeing any sort of abjuration specific. That doesn't mean that there's no traps here just because of its very nature.
Um,
You
do
want to
oh, go ahead.
you want to take a minute and just walk around the outside?
I was gonna say, yeah. Do we notice like any other entrances to this place?
Yeah, if you want, go ahead, give me a investigation roll.
Okay.
I'm helping.
You are doing your best.
Just trying to keep it together.
Dan, what does it look like as you're trying to keep it together?
It's it's a lot of looks between Seraphina, uh, Alara, Elias. Just watching everyone periodically instead of looking for anything helpful.
All right.
Like, I know I'm good, but everybody else is, it's questionable at this point.
So, as uh you're moving about, Seraphina, there isn't really other entrances, but there are small windows that you can sort of peek in. And you would notice that from the visual part of the Hate Forge, because there is areas you can tell that are not easily seen, there are two figures that seem to act almost as guardians. Maybe even wardens, keepers of the Hate Forge. One of them definitely looks like some sort of fiendish blacksmith. The other, almost almost a guard, a knight of some sort.
Well, good thing we didn't go in there blazing. There's two guardians in there. One looks like a knight, the other's looks like a blacksmith of sorts. I'll tell that to the group.
Well, I mean, if we get in, we're gonna have to get past him anyway.
Right. If I remember correctly, I think Scavenger said that neither Infitrio or her servants would interfere, but I don't know that these are. Do I know these are servants of her?
You don't.
Hmm. Right, well, at least now we know there are people in there, so we won't be surprised. But I haven't seen any other entrances, so let's just go in, but let's do it carefully, but also just prepare ourselves in case it does come to a fight.
Gotcha. I'll go first.
You enter into the Hate Forge, and it is like stepping into a dungeon. There is a sort of dampness in the stone here, but there is a heat. You see along the edges, molten streams. There are hot coals in braziers and forges, and you see the two figures. A massive devil with this hammer striking away, crafting chains made of a strange material. And a figure looking very much like a knight, though the armor no longer shines, tarnished, darkened by whatever tainting energies exist in this realm. The blacksmith does not seem to notice you, but the Guardian does. There's... What's your passive insight? 17?
Mm-hmm.
There is almost a respect as he takes in your armor and your stance, Dan. Almost like a soldier of a similar rank, recognizing another, even though you are of either different disciplines or armies. You might have been a paladin once upon a time.
I'll give a little nod then.
Seraphina, do you enter in?
I will enter in, yes.
Stepping in after Dan, Seraphina, you would notice, of course, all the same, but the both of you would notice the immediate change in the guard here in the night as he stands more actively, rolling the shoulders back, hand going for his weapon. From underneath a helm that covers his face, there is a voice that speaks out. You were the one called Seraphina, mocked by hatred.
That is me, yes.
I have heard of you. And it is with you I will find redemption. And you can hear the unsheathing of a blade. It's strange. You watch as the blade pulls itself out of the scabbard, the blade seeming almost spectral and alighting with a dark fire around it.
Well, I'm pulling out my sword.
There are contracts that I must undertake, no matter how sickening the actions may be. But I must find my way back.
But not if I can help it. You can't have her.
And I hope you know how to use your blade. And with that, standing into a full fighting stance, a guttural, infernal voice calling the attention of the blacksmith. We are going to roll initiatives. Oh, god damn. Paladin rolls exist even in NPCs. Alright, so it's going to be Dan first.
Okay.
Yeah, I know. It's crazy, right? Seraphina. Our blacksmith. our damned paladin. And then Laura and Elias at the end. But before we can pick up with the novelty of a paladin first in combat, we have to cut to our first ad break this evening. So, hang out with us. We will be right back to continue along with our story. But before we head out, I do ask that you let the ads run. They're important to us at Little Witch RP. They help keep our games affordable. If you want to directly support us, you can always do so through my Ko-fi. Link for that is on screen and in our chat room. These donations provide your GM with much needed caffeine, but they also unlock awesome perks for the entire community. Perks that benefit everyone who play with us for the next month, including special companions, double treasure, double XP, new quests, all sorts of fun things. So, stick around. We'll see you all very soon. All right, we are back in action here, and as we are coming back, Dan, you're starting us off. You got 2 guys here.
Um, get a shield of faith on Seraphina first. And can I get to that pally guy with 30 feet?
Yeah, why not?
Great, I'm running in.
Okay.
We got a 16
Mhm.
and a 15.
Unfortunately, those will both miss.
I do know how to use my sword, I promise.
Show me.
I'm trying.
Alrighty, with that, it is going to be Seraphina's turn.
Remind me, what does Shield of Faith do again?
Plus 2 to AC.
Okay. Oh, that'll come in handy.
So long as
Um,
concentration's kept.
Yep.
Uh-huh.
You know what? Let's do. So, how far start of combat are both of these creatures away from me?
We'll put them 30 feet. Well, 30 feet to get to the Guardian, and then 40 feet to get to the blacksmith.
Okay. I don't want to do that because Dan just ran up. Let's just do 2 shots of Eldritch Blast on each of them.
Yeah, why not?
We've got a Gentleman's 20, a natural 1, 27, and a 29. I mean, a 32, sorry.
Okay, so the 20 hits our Guardian, and then both the attacks will hit the blacksmith.
Awesome. So for damage, we'll get 17 on the Guardian. And for the Blacksmith, that's 11 and 11.
Cool. So that would be equal to, yeah. We are gonna get a legendary action from our Guardian here at the end of Seraphina's turn. And he's going to take a attack with his sword at Dan. With a 20 to hit.
Uh-huh.
That will be 10 points of slashing and 18 points of necrotic damage.
Holy moly. Okay. So you need to be 24?
You need to beat a 12. It's
No,
half.
12. Okay, yeah.
14, sorry. 28 halved.
I got an 18.
Yeah, you're fine.
I meant to say 14 and 24 came out.
Yeah. It's totally understandable. There's a lot going on.
Yeah, sure.
So that was his legendary action, meaning that it's our blacksmith's turn, who, hoisting the massive hammer from the forge, is going to stalk over to Seraphina and will swing heavily. That is going to be a 23 to hit.
Yeah, that hits.
And on that, you will take... that's going to be 24 points of bludgeoning damage and 10 points of fire.
Ooh, okay.
And a second attack. 22 to hit.
Yeah, that hits.
Oh! Oh, that's going to hurt. That, that was some max damage on the bludgeoning. That's going to be 30 points of bludgeoning damage. And minimum damage on the fire. 2 points of fire damage. It's fine.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's our Guardian's go, the Paladin. He's going to take 3 attacks towards you, Dan, as you are right there. The first one is a 32 to hit.
Mm-hmm.
10 points of slashing, and that will be for 13 points of necrotic. I believe
Okay.
a 15 misses.
Uh-huh.
And then that is going to be a 25.
Yeah.
10 points of slashing, 17 points necrotic.
Holy moly. Okay. No.
Unfortunately, the Shield of Faith does go down here. But it's our NPCs go. And we're gonna get some action out of... that's Elias. So, Elias, drawing forth the wand, is going to send out 3 bursts of arcane energy. They are going towards... 1 towards the Guardian on Dan, 2 towards the Devil on Seraphina. Two of his bolts miss, but one will strike into the blacksmith. And that will be 15 points of force damage there. And there's the snarl from the fiend as it looks up from Seraphina at Elias. And Dan, it is your turn. You stand in front of the paladin.
Okay.
The once was.
Yeah. Okay, I don't have that anymore. I'm gonna cast a staggering smite. I've got a 21
That'll hit.
and a 15.
That misses.
That's fine. That's 8 slashing. 8 radiant. And let's see. Got... Wow. 20 psychic, and I need a wisdom save.
Oh, that was some bullshit. It was on the 20, skid, and then flipped. That's only going to be a 15.
Great. He's got disadvantage on attack rolls, ability checks, and can't take reactions until the end of its next turn.
Ooh, nasty.
Mm-hmm.
Alrighty. And with that, it's going to be Seraphina's turn, yeah?
It is my turn, and those were extremely painful swings. So I am going to get away from this guy, and I'm going to use Face Step to do so. So I'll teleport to a space I can see. I'll teleport 20 feet. And since I teleported, I need a Wisdom saving throw from him.
Okay. There seems to be no effect. Either he saved or he is immune to the condition.
But I'm at least a little ways away from him now. You know what, let's just try and strike him with the Ray of Frost. Why not? Oh, that's a 29 to hit.
That will hit for sure.
Very nice. For 9 points of cold damage, but his speed is reduced by 10 feet until the start of my next turn.
Ooh, nasty. You would notice that, unfortunately, it does not seem to do as much damage as you may have hoped. It does seem to have some resistance to cold.
Those dice just had to be low, too. That was action, bonus. That's my turn.
Alright, it is our blacksmith's go. And it's fine that you moved away, Seraphina. Because he stomps over to Elias. And, we will lift the hammer. Out of the way, as he is going to expel a breath of flame and fire. Both Elias and Alara have to make dexterity saving throws here. Is Dan's paladin aura still only 10 feet?
Yes.
Okay. Alara succeeds. And Elias, unfortunately, just fails. So. The molten breath that is expelled here, Alara will only take half damage. Elias will take full. Ooh, that's nasty. That is going to be 44 points of damage there. But that is it for our fiend this go. Our paladin, the tarnished paladin, is going to put a hand out and from it cast a bolt of darkened energy towards Seraphina.
Hmm?
Does have disadvantage because of the staggering smite.
That's right.
Making that a 26 to hit.
That still hits.
That's going to be 15 points of necrotic damage.
Yep.
But that's it for his turn. NPCs are gonna go. And it's Elias once more, who is going to once more cast the arcane bursts, shifting the intricate spellcasting on a moment to amplify it or apply it in a more melee sense, as this creature is right in front of him. 3 arcane bursts. 2 miss. Elias, get your act together here. Oh, that's good damage. That will be a total of 28 points of damage from the one hit. We got a nice number.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah.
So, with that, Dan, it is your turn. You have the Tarnished Paladin in front of you. What are you doing?
Cool. Is the blacksmith also within 30 feet?
I'd say so, yes.
Okay. I'm gonna cast a destructive wave.
Ooh.
So I need the guardian and the blacksmith to make a con save.
That is a 23 from our Paladin,
Okay.
and a 27 from the blacksmith.
Yeah, okay. So it's so sad. They each take 6 radiant and nothing else.
Alright, anything else from Dan on your turn?
No.
Seraphina, we come to your go.
Ooh, yeah. I'm enraged. So she's gonna pull out a 6th level spell scroll and cast Chain Lightning. One bolt going to each of these guys because she is mad. So I need them to make a dexterity saving throw.
Okay. You know what? Our blacksmith is going to use a legendary reaction there. Or, yeah, not legendary reaction, a legendary resistance, sorry. He's going to succeed on that. He's choosing to.
Okay.
Our paladin gets a natural 1.
So he's gonna take. So the paladin will take full. The blacksmith will take half. This will be 10d8 lightning damage. So I will roll that right now. That is going to be on a fail. That is 47 points of lightning damage. That is half on a success.
Cool, so first let me do the paladin, because ouch, that hurt me. Oh. He's looking rough. The blacksmith, does not seem to perhaps take as much as you may have hoped, even with the success. It seems perhaps he is resistant to lightning.
Okay. That's it from me.
Our blacksmith is going to go. And you know what? Why don't we get a little bit fancy with our attacks here? He's going to...
No.
He's gonna go for a grapple against Elias. And he grabs hold of Elias. And now he's gonna throw Elias at Seraphina.
Not just say that.
Seraphina, does a 17 hit?
Yeah, 17's gonna hit.
Cool. You're both gonna take 12 points of bludgeoning damage as Elias crashes into you, and you, can you make for me a strength saving throw?
Yeah. Nat 20.
Alright, you are not knocked prone.
Like the third one I've rolled this session.
Oh, yeah. It's gonna be great, right? And with that, it is the Paladin's turn. And, you know what? He's going to hold the darkened flame of his sword outwards and whisper a spell under in this infernal tongue. The flame grows wider as he casts a branding smite and will take his he'll take an attack, and it's Dan here. That is a 21 to hit.
Mm-hmm.
So that will be 16 slashing damage. Oh, 5 necrotic
Okay.
and 3 radiant.
Okay.
Our NPCs are going to go, and this time it is Alara who's getting a chance, and so she's going to send out 3 Eldritch Blasts at the Tarnished Paladin. Wow, she already does so much better than Elias. 2 hits out of the 3 bolts. And but her damage is lacking. That's going to be okay. But our Tarnished Paladin is barely hanging in there right now. Snarling, there is this Icarus blood that drips down, corrupted by who knows how many years of hatred in the hells. As Dan, we come to your turn.
We'll swing at him. That's a natural 20.
Dan, this man has like 5 HP left. Would you like to paint a picture here of how your nat 20 will just handle this?
Told him I would show him that I knew how to use my sword. So that's what I did. Just really, really well.
As your blade gleams with the innate light of your paladin vows, you strike down this wicked foe that meant harm to your companion Seraphina. He may have once been perhaps a brother in arms, but no more had he walked that path. You still have 1 attack left.
I do. Can I get to the blacksmith?
Yeah.
Cool. I'm gonna cast a branding smite.
Hell yeah.
We'll run over. However, that's a 15.
A 15 does not hit, I'm fortunate to say.
Okay. Well, that's my turn.
Seraphina, it's your go.
Mhm. 4 very enraged shots of Eldritch Blast at this blacksmith.
Yeah, go for it.
We got a 33,
Yes.
a 24,
Yes.
a 18,
Yes.
and a 31.
Yes.
Nice. All right. So damage. So we've got 17, 17, 15, and 14.
He's looking rough, but he's hanging in there. Anything else from Seraphina?
I assume with those swings, like I'm kind of a little bloodied up. I'll like spit some blood at his feet, and then that'll be my turn.
Our blacksmith is going to take his turn. The hammer is still in the air, and he's going to bring it down towards Dan.
Okay.
That is a 17 on his first attack.
That will miss.
There's a heavy crack in the ground as it strikes the stonework next to you, Dan, but the hammer comes back up, and as it swings down a second time, that is a 26.
Yeah, that'll hit.
That will be for 14 bludgeoning damage, and 10 fire.
Okay.
And with that, we come to our NPC's turn. Alara once more turns towards the blacksmith and will take 3 Eldritch Blasts. And all 3 will hit, one being a natural 20. As the space is filled with this sickly green light, one after another, they strike in, and the blacksmith reels back. There's the heavy crack as the hammer hits the ground. But you are no longer bound by initiative. As the last of your foes is defeated. There is a gasp you can hear from Alara, who clutches at her chest, much the same area of the sort of hatred that has tethered her and Seraphina, but you're all safe. Elias will pull himself off the ground with a groan. He is quite battered and bruised.
Okay. Who needs healing hugs?
I've got a potion of supreme healing, so I can heal myself up a bit. But I'm sure Elias would love a healing hug.
Okay, so you just don't want my hugs. That's fine. I'm sure
That's
Elias will accept my hug, right?
Gladly.
Okay. He can take 30.
You would hear as you hug him and apply your lay on hands, like ribs snapping back into place. Much appreciated.
Yeah, no problem.
Now that these two have been dispatched, I think we can continue on our way, yeah?
Yeah.
We do have further Hate Forge to explore, yes.
Yep. Well, I'm ready to go.
Alrighty. As you proceed down to, it's not a large descent, maybe half a full floor, just enough where there's insulation of the ground. There is the shaping chamber of the Hate Forge is large, smoke-filled. And it is here that you see Lavindria, chained in the center of the floor, acidic shoots of corrupted acid hanging above her. She is knelt in place on the ground here. Her metallic armor of a jade color was once radiant, but time has marked it. It is etched with scuffs, marred by the corrosive touch of the forge's magic. It has been dulled by her time here. Her black hair is ragged, unkempt as it hangs around her shoulders. Her skin bearing faded scars. But her face is perhaps the more chilling aspect here. Stoic, unwavering. Her eyes shine with tempered resolve. There is perhaps strength there. Silent. But much like everything else about her, dulled. Not what it once was. Around Lavindria, the Hate Forge rages, a storm of malice manifested here. Her chains bind and tether upwards the high walls, clamping her ankles to the ground. There are flames of cruel, venomous green and furious, spiteful yellows, creating the harshest of shadows, and the boiling of several vats of corrosive hatred splashing above. If anyone would like to roll for me an Arcana or Medicine check here, you are welcome to do so. It doesn't seem that the acidic substance is powerful enough to destroy Lavindria, but it is clear that that is the source of the strange scarring that is on her. What do you do?
No, it's not visible. Seraphina, much like me a little bit, has like a giant knot in her stomach right now. Because she's realizing this is the person she has to convince to let her go. So I don't know what she does in this situation, if I'm being honest.
Dan's kind of um maybe not circling, but slowly pacing within our group, um, eyeing the chains, the vets, and there's almost pity on her face. What are we doing here, Serafina?
I don't know. Like Seraphine doesn't know what to do, what to say. Like she's kind of frozen there.
You feel a hand take yours. Elias is there. Some of the scrapes from battle healed by the magic of Dan, but the first step to solving a problem with research is knowing the question you need to ask. You need to break this curse. And he will just squeeze your hand reassuringly.
Just give like a not quite weak, but just kind of like a soft thank you. And then I will begin to slowly approach Lavindria.
He stares forward. You know that she must hear your approach. There's not much else besides the sound of the acid, and you kind of remember the sound and recall the vision. It wasn't water. It was acid running through the chutes. She doesn't look to you. She doesn't say anything. Or at least she doesn't initiate any of that. What do you do, Seraphina?
You just tell her that I know you're the one that I see in my visions. And I've made a great journey to be here. I am at least hoping you will hear me out.
There is still silence, but there's a sort of twitch in the eyelids of her stoic, defiant stare. She seems to be listening.
Really trying to think of the right thing to say here.
Take
'Cause
your
I've
time.
I have heard of your story and what you did to save that of another. I won't pretend to know the conditions you went through because, well, we're here. But you helped save somebody. And I know it may seem very selfish of me to ask for me to be here to save myself. But that is what I'm asking. There are people in this world that I do care about a lot. And I would do anything to stay with them. Though I know standing here talking to you, that is not my decision to make. It is yours. I just hope that you will hear me out.
The voice that speaks is one that is ragged, one of disuse. I will listen, but I have heard too many pleas. I will not find what you ask, not with me.
Sorry, that was kind of quiet on my end. What was it she said?
I will hear you out, but I have heard too many pleas. You will not find what you ask, not with me.
Not with her. I thought the okay. Now Seraphina's thinking because
Roll
is there some?
an
Yeah, I was gonna
insight
say.
check.
I'll add a D12 on that just for good measure. 25.
She is the one that you are tied to. She's the one you need to convince. What she's saying is that you will probably not be able to convince her. She is determined, it seems, to whatever her fate is here. Dan, you would also hear this
Mm-hmm.
if you would do anything about that.
Uh, yeah, Dan would step up. Um, yeah, no. Um, we were told that you were supposed to fix this, so we came and found you, so you're gonna fix it.
I will not.
Why?
There is a shifting of energy that you can hear, almost like a wind. And then you both feel what is this sort of innumerable presence. Up above, near where the bats bubble, you would see a familiar form of Scavindra. And at her side, Seraphina, you see the familiar form of Invatrium. The archdevil of Infilagos, tall, impish, viridian-scaled. She's clothed in regal decadence, as she stands tall, looking down with a self-satisfied smile. And as the two of you are sort of looking up, you hear where Alara's temper snaps. You will! And you see a moment where her hand shoots back as if trying to gather the arcane energy, green pouring into her palm when, Seraphina, you feel a malevolent act of energy through your system. Roll for me a Constitution saving throw, please.
Come on. There you go. 22.
22. And because you are next to Dan, that's going to be a 26, yeah? Add 4?
Mm-hmm.
All right. So, uh, got roll some dice. It's going to be oof. So had you not succeeded, that would have been 62 points of damage. But you did. So you take 31. But another interesting thing happens here. Seraphina,
Mm-hmm.
your hit point maximum is reduced by 15.
By 15?
By 15.
Okay. I can't remember how to do that. There we go. All right.
Why are you smiling?
Nothing related to this game.
Okay.
I mean, there's little things that are I'll be smiling about with this game, but
Stop it.
stop it. Get some help. Sorry, no. I think in memes. There is a delight that grows in in Vatriel's face as she witnesses the fate of Alara and Seraphina as it plays out in the moments after her arrival.
Mm-mm.
Her eyes black like midnight, the tiniest sparks of emerald for pupils that alight in this despair. At her side, of course, Skavindra, dark adamantine armor, cracked, chipped, scorched from battle across the veils, with a long glaive covered in inky black tendrils. Well, Seraphina, Vatriel's voice drips like acid. Please, do continue your attempts to convince Lavindria to release the infusion of hatred. Though, perhaps, you'll do better with a little bit of knowledge of her past. It always helps to know how to bargain.
The current situation, Seraphina feels like it's just a trick.
Long ago, twin angels of Selvana fought against my forces. One was wounded. A permanent demise all but assured. But the other bargained to protect and preserve her soul. And she looks down again, that same self-assured smile on her face. With perhaps a story told to you, whether it is entirely true, whether it is the entire story. Vatriel would like to see you try once again. But we will have to see your attempts after our upcoming ad break. So, hang out with us. We'll be right back to continue along with our story. But before we head out, I do ask that you let the ads run. They're important to us at Will Witch RP. They help keep our games affordable. If you want to directly support us, you can always do so through my Ko-fi. Link for that's on screen or in our chat room. Donations unlock awesome perks for the entire community, benefiting everyone who play with us for the next month, including special companions, double treasure, double XP, new quests, all sorts of fun things. So, stick around. We'll see you all very soon.
Stop it, no.
All right, we're back. And you've been given a story. And a welcome to try once again.
Just thinking the right thing to say.
Uh, if you want, you could roll either insight, arcana, or religion if you want to look a little bit into what Envatriel has spoken.
Ooh, I'll do Arcana.
Could I?
Yeah, you were here to listen to it.
I'll add a D12 to that.
Oh, yeah, me too.
Yeah, where's that D12 coming from, Dan?
From my heart of hearts.
I only have a limited number of them.
It's okay. No,
So, gentleman's 20 for me.
I'll just do it and pretend. I rolled a 50 billion, by the way.
A 50 billion. Oh man,
Yep.
your head explodes with all the information. I'm sorry.
Damn.
But the 20. Seraphina. You think deep. The bargain had here. It is Skindra's fate here that hangs in the balance. Not Lavindria's. Should Lavindria do as you ask? Should she leave the hateful? It is Kavindra who will pay the price. Her divinity will fall to whatever Envatriel has planned. So, you think then of what is here? What was said? This was a willing entry. If Lavindra leaves, that is how if Lavindria leaves, that is how Skavindra loses her divinity. But if she is defeated, she does not leave. Her torment ends, and you would be free. You could kill Lavindria and end your curse.
Thinking over that information. And just looking at the conditions all around her, like I could probably just, and this is just thinking, I'm not saying any of this out loud, but just I'm like empathizing with her. Like, I don't want her to be in this situation anymore, but I'll just ask Lavindria a simple question: if she's willing to have anything happen to be free. If that makes sense.
Lavindria looks at you for the first time. I knew what I entered into to protect my sister. Do either of you speak Infernal?
I do not.
Mm-mm.
There is a hiss of infernal speech from Invatriel above as she stares down with knowing eyes at Seraphina.
And ignoring that. And
Well,
ask. Oh, sorry. I was going to ask another question, but okay.
the hiss isn't uh more of a curse, it is a statement. One that causes Skavindra to act. She leaps down to the floor, holding her glaive ready as she stands between your group and Lavindria. And there is a voice of Lavindria, but the fires crackle around as Skavindra's emotions rise, drowning out the disused tongue, and she glares at Seraphina. Mere mortal hearts have dislodged mountains from the earth. They have borne waters from the farthest elemental planes to destroy the houses of gods. But you will not cross this threshold while I am alive. And we're rolling initiatives.
Uh-oh.
Is the paladin going first again?
I don't know. I don't know what happened.
This is a heck of a time to break your curse.
I don't know what happened. But my face are telling me I'm not going to be bait.
Oh man, it's all those nat 20s you were rolling earlier, Seraphina.
Hmm. I do hope I'm not going last.
Just for me, Seraphina did not share that killing Lavindria is an option.
Correct. The only thing that
So,
was said was, would you do anything to be free? And someone may have gotten high on an insight roll.
so this is coming out of nowhere for Dan.
I mean, Dan, you would have heard the string of a infernal tongue, and it was after that was said by Invatriel that Skavindra act. So
Sure.
maybe something was said. Who knows?
Okay, cool. Got it.
So Skavindra acts first here. And it is after Skavindra that will be Dan. And we have Seraphina and our NPCs. So, Skavindra will take a look at Seraphina, and Seraphina,
Mm-hmm.
I want you to make for me a wisdom saving throw.
27.
There is a uh, spiteful glare that looks at you, trying to freeze you in place here. And you do resist. You are successful, but you would feel that there is some sort of tug as this power is called upon. But that is her action this turn. Dan, sure go.
Okay. Seraphina, what's the call? What are we doing here?
You know what? I'm just gonna say this out in the open for everyone to hear, so I'll just say straight to Dan. We're trying to kill Lavindria.
Got it. I'm going to enact Radiant Soul. And I'll swoop around the other side, so Lavindria is between me and Skavindra.
Okay.
And that's my turn.
Seraphina, it is your go. Actually, you know what? Wait. She's going to take a legendary action here, scowling at Dan. And, can Dan make for me a Constitution saving throw?
That's my worst one. It's a 7.
Okay. You are awash in the flames that Skavindra calls down, and the same sort of green and sickly yellow that fill the Hate Forge, and it is blinding. You take 12 points of radiant damage, and you do gain the blinded condition until the end of your next turn.
Got it.
And now, Seraphina, it is your go.
4 shots at Eldritch Blast right at Skavindra.
Okay.
So we've got a Gentleman's 20,
Mm-hmm.
a Natural 1, a 24, and a 25.
Okay, so the 20 will just hit, so all of them get through.
Besides the Nat 1.
Well, yeah. The nat one we know is an auto miss.
Okay, so that will, for damage, that will be 14, then 13, then 18.
Okay. And with that, it is our NPCs go after Seraphina, unless you've got anything for your bonus action.
No, that's it.
Alrighty. Elias will go this turn, and will send the energies out towards Skavindra. 3 arcane bolts. All 3 miss. Good job, Elias.
Yeah, he's doing his best.
It is then going to be all right, so nothing happens elemental wise this turn. Scavindra will take the blade and she is going to make a attack against firstly Dan, because you are the one that's closest to the Vindria. But her first attack is a natural 1.
I'm blind.
Oh, that's right! That becomes an 18.
That just hits.
Okay. That is... a... That will be for 16 points of slashing damage and 5 points necrotic. I do need a Constitution saving throw here, please.
17.
17 is unfortunately not quite enough. You feel where the glaive has struck you begin to feel like a lingering wound. It burns and tingles uncomfortably. And she'll take her second attack roll at you, which will be a natural 20.
Uh-oh. Okay.
For... That's shit. 15 points of slashing damage. And 13 points necrotic.
Okay. I'm at 1 HP with my Undying Sentinel.
Okay. Sounds good. That's it for her. And then... Dan,
Uh-huh.
at the start of your turn,
Oh, shit.
because of your lingering wound, you take 3 points necrotic damage.
God damn it! Okay. I'm down.
The start of your turn, Dan, you can make a death saving throw. That is a success. What is the thought that you had before you went down?
Just gotta stay up long enough to get at least one hit in.
Okay. Alrighty, with that, Seraphina,
Mm-hmm.
it is your turn. What are you doing?
Crying's a free action, right?
Yeah, crying's a free action.
Okay. Quickly do that, and then... I am... Is there a way that I could get both Scavendra and Lavendria in a 20-foot sphere?
Sure.
Okay, I think you know what I'm going for here. Casting Synaptic Static, so that is an intelligence saving throw.
Yeah, totally. Both of them will fail.
Nice. So this will be full damage. 32 points of psychic damage, and obviously Lavendria's changed, so she can't do much. But Scavendria has to subtract a d6 from all her attack rolls and ability checks, and any con saves to maintain concentration.
Ooh. There is a rage-filled cry from Scavendria. And anything else from Seraphina?
That is it.
Alrighty. That is another Elias go, so 3 more arcane bursts. Well, he's getting better. They still miss, but he's getting close. So he sort of wipes the sweat from his brow, trying to keep his head in the game here, but he's struggling. And there is a baleful cry, still raged but torn from a voice hardly used as Lavendria gives into some of her rage here as well, shaking Scavendria, whose turn it comes to. And seeing that Dan's down, she doesn't need to bother there. She turns her attention. I mean, we could do that again, but I think we've already experienced that enough. She turns back to the threat of Seraphina nearby, and will use her glaive to attack there.
Aim.
The first attack will miss with a natural 1. It doesn't matter the d6. But that's going to be a 29 on her second attack.
Oh, yeah, that's gonna hit.
Okay. That will be 4. 12 points of slashing.
Okay.
7 points necrotic, and I do need a constitution saving throw.
Okay. The 7.
You also feel a tingling as the wound that cuts through your skin lingers and festers. Dan,
Mm-hmm.
you are unconscious currently.
Yep.
Can you give me another death save?
Sure. The 3.
That is unfortunately a failure.
Mm-hmm.
What is a memory of yours that comes to mind?
I don't. Maybe leaving the note for Nesh in my apartment. The thought crossing that maybe I should just go tell him that I'm leaving. But I just chose to leave the note.
Seraphina. Dan is still on the ground. As it comes to your turn, what would you like to do?
And Skavindra is right in front of me, right? Because she attacked me.
She is right in front of you.
So as a bonus action, I'd like to phase step over next to Dan if I could. And with my face step, that means I will need a, let's save it again, a wisdom saving throw from Skavindra, please.
Yeah, sure, totally. As you face step, her eyes immediately follow you. She turns. She does not seem affected by your frightening condition. She just seems enraged.
Okay. So I really need Dan back in this fight. So I, as an action, am going to pull out my last potion of supreme healing, and I'm going to pour it down Dan's throat.
Yeah, action to administer. Easily done. Go ahead, roll it.
So 10d4 plus 20. Oh, please be good. 21, so 20, that's 41 points of healing.
Nice.
And
I
you
like that
are-
extra two.
Awake. You're on the ground, but you're no longer unconscious.
And then
Hey.
then Seraphina will just whisper to Dan, "Kick her ass, please."
Got it. Yes, ma'am.
It is going to be then, our NPCs go. And that's gonna be a Alara. Who will try and draw Scavendra's attentions away from Dan and Seraphina with 3 Eldritch Blasts. One of which will hit. Minimum damage, but it's enough to get her attention. The sound of a rage-filled cry from Lavindria shifts to a baleful sob, almost. And as she slumps forward in her chains, you all will gain a +2 AC bonus and saving throws for the next 2 rounds as she cries. Scavendra will go for she's gonna go for Alara, since Alara was the last one to hit her. Ooh. Yeah, both of those are gonna hit. And that last one's a natural 20. Oh wait. That first one might not. So I gotta do the d6. The nat 20 is still gonna hit. But the first one does miss. Just barely. Alrighty, so... Ouch. That's 25. And 15. And then con save. Alright. Alara seems to grimace in pain here, but still stands. As Dan, we come to your turn. You are conscious, What are you doing?
Um, just a quick question. Radiant Soul,
Mm-hmm.
says it lasts for a minute or until I dismiss it as a bonus action.
You're still radiant souled.
Great it. Awesome. Can I get to Scavenger with 15 feet?
Yes.
I'm moving in. We've got a 31
Mm-hmm.
and a natural one.
One of those will hit.
Yeah. So we've got 11 slashing. Oh, no, I only need one of those. 3 with improved. I'm gonna add a regular smite. So that'll be at third. So 2, 3, 4. That's 17. And then we get another 17 from Radiant Soul.
Lovely. All right. Anything else from Dan? I don't believe so.
That's it.
Seraphina.
Mm-hmm.
Your turn.
I'd like to try and hit Scavenger with a Chill Touch.
Yeah, go for it.
That is a natural 20. So that is a base of 32 plus 10. So 42 points of necrotic damage.
Okay. It is... Anything else from Seraphina?
That is it.
There is a growing fury in Scavendra here, and whose turn next? That's an Elias turn. Alright, so 3 more arcane bolts. He can hit once, you know, we believe in him. My belief was misplaced. He's struggling here. The heat is affecting his vision with the glasses, but he's trying.
Oh, he's all fucked up.
Yeah. Lavindria continues to sob. But Scavendra here turns her fury onto Seraphina with a rage-filled cry. There is a corruption that bursts out of her glaive. She rushes forward, and Dan, she's leaving your space if you want to try and take an attack of opportunity.
Oh, yeah. It's a natural 20.
Yeah, that'll hit.
We've got max damage. So 16 slashing, and that's 15 radiant.
It is a heavy blow that you strike here, but it seems only to fuel Scavenger's rage. She seems to aim directly for Dan. There is a powerful arcana that emanates from the cursed blade in her hand. But Seraphina, before you can feel the full brunt of the blade, there is a wave of dark hair in front of your face. As Alara uses her face step to take the killing blow. The glaive pierces all the way through your sister's chest and still punctures into yours. You can feel where Scavendra draws forth the energy from you, the curse, and fuels its killing power against Alara. You're no longer bound by initiative here, but I would like to know what your passive arcanas are.
16.
10.
Dan, something really powerful is happening here. Seraphina,
Mm-hmm.
as the battle begins to freeze in your mind and falls away, Alara slumping on to the glaive, you know that Ilara's soul is beginning to fray and sever under the strain of so much deathly energies. You are on the brink of losing your sister forever. And the only thing that you can really hear, any of you, is Lavindria's weeping. She stares at her hands, tear-stained. They've been clenched in anger for so long. And then they relax. They become limp, and through her tears, Lavindria whispers a song. Soft, barely audible. That fate may weave a strand most dire, a twist we'd ne'er foresee. Should shadow claim a sister's flame, the other sets her free. With a song and a prayer, Lavindria's form wavers, shuddering, breaking as if made of glass or water, as light spills forth. Invatriel screams in a hateful cry of disbelief, but it is silenced as the angel of Sylvana dissipates into a ray of healing magical essence, washing over Alara, consuming the curse that tethers her, Invatriel, Scavindra, and you, Seraphina. The curse devours into nothing. And Alara is baffled, stunned, lying on the ground. Scavindra cries out as she falls to her knees. Tears in her face as she's desperately grasping at the last remnants of Lavindria drifting on the wind. But the traces of her sacrifice gracefully rest on empty hands, melting like snow. Invatriel, enraged at this, appears directly behind Seraphina where you stand. She raises a clawed hand to strike at you, but from the shadows a pit fiend grabs hold of her, and you recall the bargain you made. Invatriel herself would not be able to interfere with the affairs here. And it seems that her minions are holding her true to such words. Invatriel, in her fury, calls for Scavindra to kill the party. All of you. But Scavindra from her. Never again will I serve your kind. And she drops the glaive. It clatters on the ground. Vatriel, once more in a flame, appears behind Scavindra, grabbing her wings, and with a shove of her foot, tears the wings off of her back. A spray of acid, sulfurous hatred. There's a scream of pain. And Vatriel is gone. And you are left in the aftermath. There's no curse. Lavindria is gone. You're welcome to roll for me either Arcana or Religion check. Scavindra is mortal. Elven, it seems. But she has lost her divinity. But Alara is alive, present, and very confused. Seraphina, do you do anything in this moment?
I'm just gonna say nothing and just go up and just hug her as hard as I can, with some tears streaming down her face.
You feel where Alara clings to you. She trembles under the weight of her emotions. After a few moments of the two of you holding each other, you would feel the arms of Elias wrapping around you as well as he joins in on that hug. Dan, do you join?
Yeah.
For a moment, you all embrace. You will make your way back to Vale the Mortalis, back to Winterfield. But on that image, we do end the story of our mortal guardians. But our view shifts. A memory, an image from long ago of two angelic forms silhouetted against a sunrise, looking over a stream, and a song on the wind. In realms of light, beyond the night, we soar on wings of dawn. Side by side in grace we glide. The skies our songs adorn. No darkness fell, nor whispered hell could dim our radiant gleam. Her hand in mine, our strength divine, the light of heaven's dream. Though tried by ire and spiteful fire, through veils we'd never sway. With you I'll stride the crashing tide, together come what may. Yet fate may weave a strand most dire, a twist we'd ne'er foresee. Should shadow claim a sister's fire, the other sets her free. Our bond endures through storm and strife, and lasts beyond the fray. As love ensures, we'll rise again, for night shall turn to day. Hand in hand we'll make our stand against the tempest's roar. My life I'd give so you might live, and then we'll soar once more. And as the song comes to an end, so too does our story. So thank you to our players for playing. I hope you guys enjoyed this. Thank you to our viewers for viewing. I hope you all enjoyed this as well. We'll see you all in our next stream, but until then, head over to willthewitch.com. Check us out there. Join us in our Discord if you want to jump in a game yourself. Keep up to date with all of our announcements. If you want to catch our VODs, that's over on YouTube, or you can follow us here on Twitch for our live streams. And as always, may the ever-burning light forever guide your steps. Laters.